Season's greetings from Elm Park, where West Brom fans didn't quite get what they wanted for Christmas if the supporter polls backing John Trueck were accurate. But supporters can't appoint a new manager, and in Dennis Smith, Albion's board has engaged a man of sound pedigree. And while Albion parade their new manager, Reading boss Terry Bullivant keeps his present in the wrapping for at least the start of this fixture. Jason Bowen, their Christmas Eve capture from Birmingham, is on the bench as the side shows just one change from that which drew with Wolves in their last match. Steve Swales has recovered from flu and he displaces Paul Bowden, who's on the bench.
Yeah, 4-4-2 for Reading today, and boy do they need a home win. Hammond in goal, Booty, Bernal and Davis, very important today that they keep tight together, battle away. Bernal especially, good competitor. Swales on the left, four across the middle, Williams, Hodges, Parkinson and Lambert. Do you remember that glorious goal last time we were here against Nottingham Forest? Cracking, full of pace, lovely tricks, needs a little bit more consistency. And up front, Morley, 5 goals in the last 10 games, and Carl Asaba, £800,000 signing from Brentford. Will he hit the back of the net this afternoon?
As we've heard, West Brom's side has basically been selected by the caretaker partnership of Richie Barker and John Trueck, with some input from Dennis Smith. Changes were always likely after the 2-0 home defeat by Huddersfield, and David Smith comes in for Tony Dobson at left back, with Sean Flynn returning in place of Bob Taylor as West Brom return to the 4-5-1 setup that served them so well, with Andy Hunt as the lone striker.
Yeah, I think Dennis Smith will be delighted with the goals conceded record at West Bromwich Albion, in a lofty position in the First Division but stuttering of late. Miller, I think he's one of the reasons why in goals. Alan Miller, they don't concede too many. Top class for me. And the four across the back, McDermott, Burgess and Marden. Burgess and Marden, I feel good, strong, good combination. David Smith left hand side, and then the midfield, Flynn on the right, tough, gets stuck in, tracks back. Butler, he's the holding player for West Brom, along with Hamilton. Hamilton does venture forward a little bit. Coban, for me, is an out-and-out winger. Lovely, strong runner of the ball. Looks to get in these positions down the left-hand side. And watch for Snakers. Many times we've covered West Brom this season. Loves his runs forward. And Andy Hunt, prolific for West Brom this season.
And out they come to enjoy the Boxing Day atmosphere. West Brom nearer the camera. Reading in the blue and white. And West Brom may be in the grip of a bad run of results at the moment, but coming into this match they were only 5 points behind the division's leaders. So can they arrest the crisis and give new manager Dennis Smith a winning start? It's Reading against West Bromwich Albion, the whole match coming up after the break.
Dennis Smith's first game as manager of West Bromwich Albion is just about to start. Reading, the opponents at Elm Park today. We will keep you up to date with all the other early kickoffs up and down the country, but for now it's back to our commentators, Alan Brazil and Rob Hawthorne.
Dennis Smith is West Bromwich Albion's 8th manager in 10 years, so it is a very hot seat. And he was a late runner in the managerial stakes. Lots of names were mentioned when the vacancy occurred, people like Joe Royle and David Pleat. But he's a man who's had 4 promotions in his career so far, so he's got a sound pedigree and a good record that the West Brom fans are hoping can continue at the Hawthorns. Here though, Reading, who've not won or scored in their last 2 matches, get the game started, and Butler slides in straight away on Martin Williams to let him know that he's there.
That's Peter Butler for you, isn't it? Doesn't get any goals, or many goals I should say, but loves a tackle.
Here's Asaba. And Williams, boosted by the arrival of Jason Bowen, knows that he's got to impress. And he's made a great start looking for Morley, and Morley's bundled it in. What a start for Reading, and what a devastating blow for Dennis Smith. A goal down just over 30 seconds into his first game.
Well, what a start for the home side. And really defensively, McDermott and Miller getting all sorts of trouble. Williams, who took that bad tackle by Butler, whips it across. Morley gets the final touch. Perhaps Miller has pushed or punched the ball onto Morley, but Williams had picked himself up, ducks inside here on the left foot, Morley with the near post run. Out comes Miller. Miller gets a touch and in off Morley. What a start. Good play from Williams. Great delivery. Miller gets the punch off Morley in the back of the net.
Well, it is Trevor Morley's 6th goal of the season. 3 of those have been penalties. And indeed, too many of Reading's goals lately have been from the penalty spot. He's a great poacher of goals, and that was a fine example of one as he leapt in on Alan Miller, who pushed the ball onto him, but the goalkeeper appeared to have been injured in that and had some extensive treatment immediately after that goal had been conceded. But normally they say that when you take over as a manager, it's because a team is in some sort of crisis. You look at the table, see West Brom are 5th, and think that isn't the case with Dennis Smith, but he's just had an early indication of Albion's current problems.
Well, it was a smashing, teasing cross from Martin Williams. And Miller, well, Miller may be a little bit unlucky, but Morley got in where it hurt. 6 goals in 11 games for Trevor Morley.
But an early shock for Dennis Smith. Wonder if he's signed the contract yet, and if he might be thinking again.
It's a manager's nightmare, isn't it? First attack and you concede. Still, a long way to go.
Well, they say you learn a lot about your team when they're losing, so maybe you will learn a few lessons from this. In a perverse sort of way, it might be just the sort of start that Dennis Smith needed to see what his team is made of.
Really, it was a near post ball, wasn't it? And Morley, you know, he's terrible injuries over the years, but made a good run to the near post, got in where it hurts, and Alan Miller in goal for West Brom, punching it against Morley and lying hopelessly as the ball hit the back of the net.
Here's Booty with the McDermott with a free kick. Cleared by Swales. But what a great psychological ploy by Terry Bullivant. Martin Williams put in the team knowing that Jason Bowen is lying in wait for his place on the substitutes bench, and he immediately delivers with the cross that led to the goal.
Yeah, that was just after a tough tackle from Peter Butler. Picked himself up and great delivery.
Cleared by Lambert. Crossing with Lambert and Hunt.
What a start. Williams, good dummy. That's Burgess's dummy. Whipped it in. Miller gets a touch. And it does. Does it hit Morley? Does it hit the defender? That could be McDermott's goal. Miller with a punch. It hits McDermott. But Reading go 1-up.
And here goes Schnakers. Hunt pushing up ahead. Well, a dramatic start to proceedings here at Elm Park. Here's McDermott. You felt the full horror of that. Morley. Williams. Pushing up on his right was Booty. This is Davis. Williams. Parkinson hoping for Morley, and McDermott lets that one go. The nerves of the entire Albion defence must be jangling at the moment. So desperate to impress their new manager, and they couldn't have got off to a worse start.
Well, normally so solid at the back, you know, that's why away from home they like this. Andy Hunt up front on his own, 5 across the midfield, make it tough. But Williams certainly exposed them there. And really, I don't think you can blame the full-back McDermott. Miller, you know, punching the ball out a yard away, just hit him.
No handball given. This is Schnakers.
The referee was a bit slow there, wasn't he? The crowd shouted Handball. I don't think he was giving it for handball. Offside was the decision.
Andy D'Urso from Billericay in Essex is today's match official.
You can see he takes it, it just rolls down his hand. There's a little touch, and the linesman clearly had a flag up.
Reading came into this game with 234 minutes without a goal. Indeed, 4 of the last 8 they've scored have come from the penalty spot. But they've had a perfect start to this game. Swales. Davis.
That's a head, Rob.
I think he was aiming for us.
And Gareth Davis delighted. Great start. Tell me, it was an impressive debut last week.
West Brom have lost and failed to score in 4 of their last 5 matches.
That's the problem I think the Baggies have got. Andy Hunt, it's so crucial that Hunt gets the goals from. They really got to start sharing a few, and they need more goals if they've got any chance of promotion. I just wonder if Dennis Smith has got some money to spend, Rob. Maybe that was part of the deal. I think he needs it for the Baggies to get up.
Snakers going it to Kilban. Get the crossing from a tight angle. Put back across by Flynn. And well hit by Hamilton! Brilliant save!
Yeah, good stop from Hammond. Ian Hamilton must have thought he's equalised. But Hammond, flying save to the right-hand side. Hamilton lurking on the edge of the box. Hooked back in. Body's in front of Hammond, but look at this. Good stop, nice height for the keeper with the left hand. Just gets a palm on it over the top.
More work for the goalkeeper here. Snakers hits one! And another flyer!
Well, that is a quality save this time from Hammond. Hamilton's shot was a nice height, but Snakers had more power on it. Reading really have to watch this 18-yard line. As the ball's knocked out, another West Brom player, Snakers, blasts. Good touch from Hammond.
But driving forward here. Flynn came in. Cleared to Hamilton. Here's the Saba. Reading grateful to break and grateful to their goalkeeper for preserving the lead. McDermott. Here's the Saba.
Good start to the match. Goodness me. Saba looking sharp, quick feet. Looks strong and powerful, Carlos Saba. People felt maybe 800,000 from Brentford was too much. He's proven it with goals. And how Reading and Terry Bullivant need those goals.
It's Lambert's free kick. Morley will go for it. Aaron Miller and his opposite number, Nicky Hammond, both former Arsenal apprentices. Hammond really has had a cracking start to this game. Those 2 superb saves from Hamilton and Snakers.
Yeah, as you're saying, Reading have got to be very careful. They've got to protect Nicky Hammond a little bit more, especially at set pieces, the flick-ons. And as the ball comes out to the edge of the box, they really have to put jerseys alongside the likes of Snakers and Hamilton, looking for the knockdowns. It's lovely if you're a goalkeeper and you get a couple of early saves. Confidence brimming. I don't know if I can blame Alan Miller, Rob, because it was a good ball in. And he knocked him out. Unfortunately, his own fullback McDermott in the way before he could react in the back of the net. 1-0.
Saba, Morley. Saba giving chase. Here's McDermott.
Sava's pace could be a problem. The 2 centre-halves, Marden and Burgess, tough, strong, like to attack the ball, but the ball in behind sometimes catches them out. Not blessed with tremendous pace either.
Hodges. This is Andrew McDermott. Flynn looking to release Hamilton, who'll be expected to be one of the runners from the midfield to support Hunt.
Yeah, it was a good run from Hamilton. Snakers and Hamilton will make them runs all afternoon, especially now a goal down. As Butler, he's the holding player.
Foul on Flynn, who wants to get on with it and take the free kick quickly, and McDermott has come forward to offer him an option.
This is where Reading, for me, have been looking a little bit dodgy. The ball's into the box. West Brom seem to be getting the first touch.
Hamilton in there again. It's Kilban's free kick. Marden challenging. And it's punched within greater distance by Phil Parkinson.
Really, apart from that opening goal, you'd say it's been a decent start from West Bromwich Albion on the travels. A couple of good strikes on goal. Hammond's been excellent. But lots of possession from their wayside.
They've responded in the manner that would have been expected of them anyway. But obviously under Dennis Smith, all of the players are keen to prove their worth. And Hunt has turned away from Davis. Flynn has made a break in the box as it whips right across the face of goal.
Oh, Sean Flynn flying in at the far post. But maybe Andy Hunt might have been better just clipping it across. I think this is a drive to the far post. Bang, and that's not far away. Look at Flynn as well, diving in. Beats a keeper and a whisker past the far post.
There's Andy Bernal. McDermott with a throw.
Glorious afternoon. Marcus earlier, Rob was saying how mild it was. The sun's out, but I promise you the wind is biting.
There's one or two of the crowd with their new woolly jumpers, happy to have got them now. Andy Hunt winning the throw off Andy Bernal. West Brom have gained 3 points out of the 9 available since Ray Harp had left.
There's a late challenge there. I think it was Lambert on Butler. Or Parkinson on Butler, sorry. Peter Butler drops these knees. Just here, watch the late challenge there. It's more a stamp on the left foot. Parkinson's a tough character, so is Butler mind.
Phil Parkinson was the character with whom Mark McGee had a little altercation at the end of the recent goalless draw here with Wolves, a game that's always played in high tempo when McGee returns. After that no-nonsense challenge, Butler is on his feet, although protesting heavily. It's Kilban's free kick. Marden aiming to get there and does! And cleared by Bernal.
Wow, I thought that was a great chance. Bernal was watching Hunt at the far post. Marden rises above everyone from Kilban's cross. Look at Hunt in behind Bernal, and that's a good clearance. Really had to make sure, Andy Bernal.
Latest corner is in towards Burgess, cleared to Butler. Hamilton. Hunt had pulled free. Butler.
It's going to be a good battle. Parkinson and Butler today. Sparks are flying.
Two tough, no-nonsense characters.
Yeah, we're going to see a bit of this all day. Nothing bad in it. Good competitors both.
Asaba. Lambert. He can run at defenders.
Yeah, trying the left foot strike. Full of tricks, but this time going for power and not troubling Alan Miller.
Number 80 in Hamilton. Parkinson coming back on him this time, giving away the free kick. Here's Richard Schnakers. It's McDermott's cross. Right in between Hunt and Kilban. Long clearance by Hammond that had Miller backpedaling for a short while.
I just feel that's where the Baggies have got to be careful, West Brom. Asaba's pace through the middle. I just feel Reading now beginning. Well, they've got to start winning the knockdowns in midfield, because West Brom are patient, they're passing the ball. They seem first in the knockdowns and not intimidated by this early goal.
Smith as Bernal. Andy Bernal, who was actually sent off in this fixture last year. Remember, Reading and West Brom played each other on Boxing Day last season as well, but that red card was later revoked when the referee looked again at the evidence. Hunt leading with his arm. No handball given. Butler having to really dig in hard, and then Morley going in too hard against him.
Morley's foot was up, there's nothing nasty in it. The referee was only a few yards away. Butler helping it on, there's a challenge there. Good refereeing. And again, Butler involved.
Butler and Morley, who had 2 years together at West Ham. Smith! The sight set very firmly on goal.
Just as he hit this, David Smith, there was just a tiny little bobble which lifted the ball well over the crossbar. Again, quick free kick from West Brom. Smith thinks no one's closing, why not? Just bobbling and bouncing, no problem for Hammond.
Burgess, caught by Trevor Morley. Burgess, who's taking the free kick, the main man at Albion, who's seen all the managerial changes now, currently playing for the 7th manager of his first team career. Parkinson, Asaba, Burgess, and Kilban will put pressure here on Booty. He did well. This is Williams. Parkinson. Marden scurrying back here, troubled by the pace of Asaba.
This fella's getting a bit of stick, you know. 4 or 5 times he's been on his backside now, Martin Williams. Kilban this time leaning in. A few moments earlier, Hamilton just caught him off the ball.
Martin Williams, who was being played as a lone striker earlier in the season by Terry Bullivant. A lot of people feel that of late he's maybe just gone off the boil. He started this match in flying style and he's going for that one again against Kilban. Parkinson against Butler. This clash of the Titans. Hunt aware that Schnakers had made a great run. Just too much on it for him.
Great awareness from Andy Hunt. Schnakers obviously talking to him. But when the ball goes out on his left foot, Hunt immediately just tries to slot it into the running of Schnakers.
Always a threat. Richard Schnakers scored in West Brom's last 2 victories over Birmingham, which we saw live on Sky, and against Stockport. The only match that West Brom have won since Ray Harford departed. Hunt. Here's Lambert.
This fella's been in the wars. A few times found himself on his backside. It was early on when Peter Butler came in with a strong challenge on the little fella. Doing well there, just coming inside the big centre half. Good ball into the near post. Miller punched it against McDermott. That's the opening goal. Again, a little bit late. Williams again on the ground. Has he said something about West Brom, this boy? Or?
Here's Martin Booty. Morley. Hodges arriving. The answer was by Flynn.
It's a game I thought before the match, Rob, that West Brom had to get something out of just to stop this run. Just to install a bit of confidence, especially in the new manager.
Booty. Made by McDermott. Every team does have their bad run at some stage of the season, and many pundits might argue that some of West Brom's performances have been catching up with them with their results of late. It's a question of how quickly they can stop the slide now to maintain their place in the promotion frame.
That's nice as well, though. It's a nice position to be halfway. As you say, they must improve.
Smith under pressure from Morley. That's Gareth Davis.
He's done well to get his goals, Andy Hunt, all alone up front. It's not an easy position to play. Good movement he's got, but desperate for the runs, for the support quickly up to him.
Lambert. West Brom throw.
Very condensed in the midfield, Rob. That's why it's not fast and flowing. It's a little bit, it's a bit bitty. The ball's dropping to players, and there's 3-4 players around them, especially in the midfield areas.
Saba. Booty. Here's Butler. Burgess. Parkinson. Schnakers. Nice touch to Flynn. Swales. And here's McDermott. Butler. David Smith. Schnakers and Hamilton just supporting Hunt at the edge of the penalty area. Peter Butler. Challenged by Hamilton, and the referee was right on the spot to see the offence committed against Booty.
Yeah, it's the usual one, the fullback just about to play up the line. Hamilton definitely late. Wasn't high, his feet weren't high, but he catches Booty on the ankle. It's a lunge, isn't it? And that's why the referee is going to take action.
It's the first caution of the game. Ian Hamilton given the yellow card.
Sometimes it's just when the ball's there and you realise you're a bit late, but you just commit yourself. You know you're going to catch the fullback. You just hope maybe the ref's not too close, but this time Andy Dursell was very close by.
Well, this is the second successive Boxing Day meeting of these two teams. It was West Brom who were early to strike last year with the opening goal in the 3rd minute. Reading were level by the 8th, and the game finished 2-2. Had a goal, an own goal from Andrew McDermott in the opening minute of this encounter, and West Brom have continued to threaten since. Morley. Swales to Parkinson. I wonder if Reading have just taken their foot off the pedal after that wonderful start they had.
I think Reading are having a problem with the 5 in midfield. Well, it's no problem when you're 1-up, but to get the game flowing, there's 5 West Brom players strung right across the park, and there's no space in there. Dennis Smith will be saying, OK, we need a little bit more. Hamilton had a good shot, Snakers had a good shot, but they've just stopped as well, West Brom, creating the chances. I think he'll be looking for a little bit more from Kevin Coban on the left-hand side. Not seen too much of him.
Bullivant might just be a little concerned at the way that his team is failing to break down this West Brom midfield. It's a familiar pattern that Albion have readopted.
Yeah, I think you'll also be concerned, Rob, with the set pieces, that they're not dealing with them better, not clearing the lines.
There goes Saba, and he's through. Marden recovered.
Well, Marden done well there to stick to his guns because of Saba, good trickery, got clear. David Smith comes over to help his centre-half out, and Marden kept going. Saba suddenly is faced with Smith, comes inside, and Marden covers well.
First Reading corner to be taken by Lambert. Kilban. Lambert with a second bite at the cherry. Williams! 2-0! And Williams, who caused havoc for the first goal, scores the second.
Well, one thing for sure, West Bromwich Albion can't deal with near post crosses. Beautiful ball in the box, and Williams cuts inside the 6-yard line and side foots home. Good play from Lambert, whips it in, again a teasing cross, good finish from provider to goal scorer. Martin Williams, 2-0.
Drop me now, boss, he's saying, after the signing of Jason Bowen.
Poor Jason Bowen sitting on the bench saying, what did I come here for? Smashing goal. Dennis Smith will be very angry, whereas this fella, Terry Bullivant, delighted. Just when they were going a little bit cold on him, pop up with a second goal. Williams, who's come in from the right-hand side midfield to head for the near post, almost near the centre in the end by the time he tucked it in, but a cool finish.
Reading don't have wads of cash to splash around. The signing of Jason Byrne cost them £200,000, but Williams, a free transfer signing from Luton some time ago, is perhaps showing them that they could have kept the cheque unsigned. And as he's being taunted with cries of Dennis Watts to score, he's come downstairs to make a few observations to John Truick, the new West Brom manager. West Brom showed plenty of spirit after losing the first goal, and are now determined to prove that the second goal hasn't killed them off. Cross from Kilban, beyond Hunt. Flynn came in, and it's cleared by Davis.
That's good play from Flynn, coming in from a wide right position, getting his header in, but Reading get it clear again. Really, it crosses West Brom, I think, look more dangerous, but they need one back quick.
We've seen great Reading fightbacks here at Elm Park. They were 3-0 down against Crewe, drew 3-3. They were 3-1 down against Forest and came back to 3-3. But now, if there's to be a revival, it has to come from their opponents.
Hunt start to come deeper and deeper looking for the ball. Good player, but you can't do it all up on your own there. You can hold it up, but when you're surrounded by blue and white jerseys, you need support and quick. Snakers and Hamilton have to take more chances now. 2-0, now they're 2-0 down.
Andy Hunt scored a hat-trick against Reading last season, and I'm sure a similar repeat performance wouldn't go amiss today. Here's Hamilton. Flag up.
That won't please Dennis Smith. Sean Flynn on the left, all on his own, looking across the line. Is he offside? Just. Good decision.
Reading came into this game as the First Division's lowest scorers in the league, with just 21 to their credit. They have managed to put West Brom in a real predicament. In Dennis Smith's first game in charge, and the flight may worsen yet. Williams is really on his game today. He's left himself with too much to do there as Kilban came back to provide extra cover. Kevin Kilban. Hamilton. Here's McDermott. Flynn. Played by
spotted it on McDermott, Flynn, but tried to do it a little bit too early. A little bit unlucky McDermott in that first OG.
Maybe unlucky there.
Had the chances, West Brom, haven't they? You know, they get the ball in the box, plenty of support around the 18-yard line, but good goalkeeping from Hammond.
Reminder of more Boxing Day football to come, with Aston Villa against Tottenham from the Premiership on Sky Sports 1 from 4 o'clock. And then Sunday football from Bramall Lane. Our nationwide league coverage begins at 12 noon. Sheffield United against Charlton on Sky Sports 2.
Big question there, Rob. Will Stan the man be playing for the Villa? It's not been a Merry Christmas for him.
Up against Carla Sava.
Sava didn't like the decision. Just there, you can see a good yard offside. Both fans didn't like it, but the ref was correct.
When West Brom need goals in the past, they've often looked to Lee Hughes, and it's to this raw talent of the 21-year-old that they're looking again. They've taken Sean Flynn off, and Hughes, who scored 5 goals, all of them from the bench this season, is now given the task by Dennis Smith of rescuing something from his first game in charge. Good play here from Hunt. It's good pressure from Albion, and he's made room for Kevin Kilban to drive it across, and it's off Bernal for the corner.
Well, I think, first of all, I think it's a brave decision by Dennis Smith. 33 minutes gone, it's not working, Hunt's exposed, and suddenly Hunt's involved. Gives it wide on the left to Kilban, it bobbles, Bernal comes off him, and Hammond's all over the shot.
How costly could the conceding of this corner be? Number 8, Hamilton. His target is Lee Hughes. It's cleared by Morley. But Dennis Smith has done a lot of listening in his first few days in charge, and he's liked what he's heard about Lee Hughes. I don't think it'll be too long before Smith is putting him in his starting lineup. The manager has basically picked today's team in consultation with the caretaker partnership, but for the 2 games coming up against Stoke, one in the league and one in the FA Cup, it will be Smith's say for the selection of the side.
It's a little bit unlucky on Sean Flynn, you know, but when you're 2-0 down, you have to change it. And I just feel that Lee Hughes will help Andy Hunt alongside. You know, he was getting the ball. In the end, Hunt was coming too deep for it, Rob. He was getting frustrated, being up there all alone. So this fellow will give him a bit of firepower alongside him.
Well, he scored a couple after coming off the bench against Crewe. What can he do here at Elm Park? It's a short one from Martin for Smith, and he just managed to get there ahead of Williams.
Williams having a terrific game.
They're really dicing the danger when they're playing around when Williams is attendant. Schnakers, it was a good touch from Hunt. Hughes. Schnakers. McDermott.
Terry Bullivant, he'd be saying to himself and his boys, come on, 10 minutes, don't concede. 2-0, we go in at half-time comfortable. 2-1, it's a different matter. No silly mistakes. But once again, set pieces, I think Albion are dangerous. And once again, they have one.
Hughes will look to profit from it.
Hughes with the right foot, and it's the slightest of touches from Lambert. The corner, right-hand side.
It's Kilban's corner, and it's too short for Burgess, cleared by Swales. McDermott. Marden and Burgess have stayed in attack, and that is not very clever with Williams looking to break, but he just can't get there in time.
Tell you what, David Smith took a big chance there. You know, whether he read that ball was going out, David Smith, the full-back, went over to Williams and left Asaba all alone through the middle. Williams again, breaking. Look at Smith going to cross in. Asaba's all alone. Oof. Just as well the ball rolls out.
Turned up by Darryl Burgess.
I think they'll be very disappointed, Burgess and Paul Marden, when the ball's been whipped into the near post. They haven't, looked solid at all.
Saba onside, Morley and Williams going into the area. Turned behind by David Smith.
Once again, they're ready with two at the far post against one. Saba gets clear, maybe a hint of offside, but look, Williams at the far post and Morley through the middle, 2 against 1.
I can remember have beaten West Brom just twice in 11 league games here. It's a record they stand a great chance of improving if they can hold on to or even add to this 2-0 lead. And they might be a big threat from this situation. It's Martin Booty's corner. And Davis going into challenge.
Yeah, Miller was right underneath it. He really hasn't had a save to make, Alan Miller. Picked the ball out the back of net twice. It's a high cross, the wind gets a hold of it. Miller's underneath it, in comes Davis. Free kick. Clearly see Davis's left arm up.
Many who believe that Alan Miller was the best signing of Ray Harford's tenure. Penal.
2 centre-halves of Reading are doing well. They're following the runs from the midfield, the likes of Hamilton and this time Snakers. Bonnell and Davies are doing well.
There's Kilban. Oh, well, Andy Hunt, the sort of header that normally you would have expected him to tuck away.
Yeah, glorious chance from Andy Hunt. Applauds the service. And Kilban again, this time on the right foot, whipping in. And really, Andy Hunt, in a rich vein of form, you'd expect to knock this one away. Good service from Kilban. Hunt between the 2 centre-halves and over the top.
He's almost had what seemed like a grudge against Reading. 6 goals against them in 7 league appearances for West Brom.
It's definitely windier than it looks. Out there, the ball, I think West Brom's second half can cause the home side a lot of trouble with putting the ball in the box, because it is a vicious swirling wind down there.
Saba. Davis!
Getting across, or getting above Kilban at the far post. You say to yourself, what's Davis doing up there? The centre-half signed from Palace. A sweeping cross, plenty height, and Davis gets over Kilban. Wind again playing a part, but Miller had it covered.
Miles Davis, newly joined Reading, but making his 150th career appearance today. Smith. Play from Bernard. Morley. Booty. And he's unleashed Williams again with the Saba going into the box. So too is Lambert. And it was a crucial touch from McDermott. Here's Swales. Reading continuing to turn the screw. Cleared by Smith. Only to Williams. Booty. 3 were waiting.
Yeah, that's a good finish to the first half from Reading. And Williams really is causing havoc. This time doesn't cut back on the left foot. Decides there's an opening. Saba making the run. Lambert at the far post. And that's a good flick from McDonald.
Williams has gone down, but no free kick has been given. And it's been given away, though, by Hamilton. And Reading continue to finish the first half strongly. Asaba. Davis has stayed in the attack once more. But it's cleared by McDermott.
And Dermot and Smith are having a bad time, the fullbacks for West Brom. Asaba causing problems with his pace.
Lambert. Booty. Williams.
That's a late challenge. Thank goodness Morley's to his feet saying, OK, look for the culprit, sees the ball, and this fella doesn't hold back, Peter Butler. In goes the challenge, Morley down, and the referee again on hand.
And Butler may have helped his opponent back to his feet, but doesn't escape a yellow card.
Tough tackling, Peter Butler. And he's the holding player, anything loose he's got to challenge for, and mistiming it.
Morley is now back on his feet and waiting at the edge of the area, while Miller now worries himself about the 4 Reading players over the free kick. Booty, Parkinson, Lambert and Hodges are the quartet. And it's lined up for Lee Hodges. Well charged down by Butler.
Yeah, he had to redirect himself, Butler, but a good free kick.
Cross from Swells towards Morley, cleared by Burgess. Hodges came in looking for a strike. Just fended off by Schneekers, and Hughes is free. If Hunt can pick him out on the right, and he's found him. But Reading have flooded players back, and the cross from Hughes is cleared. Here's Hughes. A useful break that had been made by Lee Hughes, but West Brom couldn't make the most of it.
Hunt spotted him, it was just the pass was too strong. It was a great opportunity for Albion.
Is it going to have been their last opportunity of the first half, or can they manufacture something here? Not like that from Schneekers, they can't.
Yeah, they tried to thread it in between the full-back and centre-half for Hughes, but really the chance was missed, wasn't it? Hunt had a great opportunity to find Lee Hughes. Reading have just got to keep this tight right up to half-time. Albion still look dangerous on the break, but defensively they look fragile.
Hughes. McDermott. Bernal. Header only lands for Andy Hunt, and he's lined it up for Hamilton, who's got Kilban to his left. Kevin Kilban! Side netting.
Yeah, he got his strike away. The problem is the pitch here at Elm Park is a little bit bobbly and bumpy. Kilban gets a lovely ball from Hamilton, who spots him on the left-hand side. Decides to hit it first time, should be going across the goal, and just wide into side netting. Not going to trouble Nicky Hammond. And another chance goes a-begging for the Baggies.
Unless they get a cup draw here, it could be West Brom's last ever performance at Elm Park, with Reading due to move home next season. Morley here looking to get through against McDermott. Traditionally, they've had good times here at West Brom.
It's one of these games, Rob, but I think the players will tell you it's not enjoyable because it's windy, the pitch is bumpy and the ball's bobbly. The first touch has got to be excellent. That ball looks out of shape to me.
So that's what Miller would say.
Yeah, the way it's in flight, the ball looks to be, it just looks as if it's a little bit out of shape. Or maybe it's the wind, or maybe it's my eyes.
See what effect the wind is having on the flag on the rooftops. And will that be to West Brom's advantage after the break? Reading, though, have given themselves a commanding advantage in this match.
I think the second goal was a killer, Rob. came at a nice time for Reading.
Schnakers. Kilban. Hamilton, Hunt, Hughes all waiting in the box. Off Booty.
Kilban's had a couple of chances, hasn't he, against Booty? You know, he's got in at the far post and strike a couple of shots across the face of the goal and one into side netting.
Big guns have come forward from the back. Burgess near post, Marden far post. Corner doesn't clear the first Reading defender. Kilban though gets it in, and the header off the post from Marden. Kilban, first cross blocked. Kilban with a second opportunity, and Marden, the man who hit the post with a header that really caught Reading by surprise, couldn't get the last cross.
Wow, how unlucky can you be? Paul Marden, this is a good header over the head of Hunt. Marden pings it back to where it comes from. Goalkeeper stranded and beaten.
Later crossing there towards Kilban, he can't get there. Reading's goal leading a charmed life towards the end of the first half. McDermott. Hunt.
What a time to score that would be. Dennis Smith must be cursing. Teddy Bullivan, wow. Choose a good lead. Could have been also different.
Half-time, and Dennis Smith hasn't done too much talking, mainly listening in his time as Albion manager so far, but plenty of talking to do now after Trevor Morley's pressure forced McDermott to concede an own goal barely 30 seconds into the first match of Smith's reign. It was a great break from Williams. The cross completely foxed the Albion defence, and Miller pushed the ball onto the on-rushing defender. McDermott's own goal, and Reading one up in the first minute. The second goal, though, was from Williams, a thoroughly deserved one for his efforts too, and Albion trailing 2-0 at half-time. Well, when Ray Harford took over, the noticeable improvement in West Brom was in their defence, and he did it without changing the personnel too much. He did sign Alan Miller, and he did sign Andrew McDermott, who got the own goal as well, although McDermott really has had to wait until after Harford's departure to seize his opportunity in place of the injured Paul Holmes. But Smith himself was a no-nonsense defender in his playing days with Stoke City. Good long career there. In fact, his last appearance for them was against West Bromwich Albion, and yet two of his first 3 matches in charge of West Brom will be against Stoke. One in the league on Sunday, and then the next one in the FA Cup. That's what lies ahead more immediately, is turning around the situation here. And the defence, of which he is now in charge, has been shown to be very frail so far.
Just give it another couple of seconds and they can't go off to a worse start than the first half. Dennis Smith will really be saying, come on, first 10 minutes, you know, we must pounce back. Let's get at them, put them under pressure immediately and get the ball wide, especially Kilban. If you can get the ball in the box, you know, Reading sometimes, especially at the opening of the first half, we're looking a little bit fragile. Crosses coming in. I'm saying that both defences have been fragile from crosses, Rob.
We'll see if the wind has any bearing on it too. That's what Marden will say as he airmails that one.
Can you blame the wind there, or
right over there?
It is windy and bobbly, there's no doubt about it. The players are having a problem passing, you know, 3 or 4 times a concession. But really, you know, West Brom have got to get the ball wide and get it in the box in the danger area, and the likes of Snakers and Hamilton have to keep making the runs into the box to support Hunt and Hughes.
Wide men have been doing the business so far, notably Williams, who's set up one goal and scored the other. This is Smith for West Brom, looking for Snakers or Hunt. And it's Lambert who's back there assisting the defence. Andy Hunt. Cross by Smith in towards Hughes, cleared by Bernal. Snakers took it down well, but Bernal giving him no room or time to line up the shot.
There's a late challenge as well, Hughes. He's just caught the fullback, Swales, thankfully, up on his feet. And again, it's scrappy, isn't it? It's in the air. There's the challenge. That's a push from Hamilton. And the referee's blown. Again, referee had a good game, Andy Durso, catching out Ian Hamilton again.
Reading haven't won their last 3 Boxing Day fixtures, 2 draws and a defeat. Their last win on this date was back in 1991 at Bury. The year before, when they last won a Boxing Day fixture here. Crunching duel there between Burgess and Morley.
That's what you call a tackle. And he got the ball. Morley quickly to his feet. Look at this. Bang. No complaints from Morley.
Yeah, no animosity. A handshake between the two at the end. Swales. Morley and Burgess again. Hodges. And away goes Asaba. Lambert joining Williams in the box if he can feed him. And it ran beyond Lambert. Williams trying to do the rescue job. Schneeker's got there.
That was, just when you're looking for West Brom to start well, it's Reading who are chomping at the bit. Good ball from Asaba, cuts it back, spots Lambert, and really Lambert just takes his eye off the ball, James Lambert. That was a chance.
Reading already 2-0 up, but starting the second half looking mean and hungry for more. Well, as being defeated in 4 of their last 5 matches, West Brom haven't scored in those games either.
Well, you get worried if you're a manager and your team are not scoring, but if you're not creating the chances, you think, right, we've got to change it. But Albion are creating chances. We've seen 4 good chances from them today.
There's Hamilton, who produced one of the excellent saves from Hammond in the first half. Snake has produced another, and then of course Marden's header hit the post. This is Hughes. Can't get it past Swales.
Yeah, we need an Albion goal just to liven this match up now. Will it be Hughes who gets his side back in the match, or Hunt? He's played well all alone up there.
And the last thing that Reading fans want is a West Brom goal, because the nerves will start to set in. Davis clears, Snakers comes in looking for the follow-up, and it was Davis who blocked it.
Good defending from Davis there. Winning the head and then knocking out the shot from Snakers. Really, you wonder if it's going to be Albion's day.
Smith. Burgess. McDermott. Snakers offering the width down the right. And Atkinson's Flynn left. Cleared by Bernal. Saba and Morley the front two. 4 Albion players back, but it was Hamilton coming back who made the challenge, and this is a player, remember, who's already been booked.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here, Hamilton. There's no doubt he gets the ball, but he just mistimes out. Or Saba gets his foot across and Hamilton's on his way. But that's a lunging challenge, but he does get the ball rather than the man.
Williams.
Smith's got to be close at Williams. He's showing him too much respect. There's no challenges coming in from the fullback.
Williams has got it across. This is Asaba looking to turn.
Yes, good first touch from Carl Asaba. 2-0 up, thinks, right, I'll spin and hit this. Again, Williams a provider. There's the touch. Tries to get a bit of bend, going for that far left post. And he needed the ball to come back and be a little bit lower. Williams again the provider.
Kilban challenging well against Swales, and this is Andy Hunt with a clean run.
Yeah, that's a good chance, Rob. 19 yards, 20 yards out on the left foot, and he just hits across the ball, which sends it away to the left. Gets a good strike on it, keeper's beaten, but well wide from Andy Hunt. And really, are Albion going to take one of these chances?
Andy Hunt scored West Brom's winner when they beat Reading at the Hawthorns in September and went to the top of the table. Lost their next game at Queen's Park Rangers.
Certainly no lack of commitment from Albion. Dennis Smith with a little bit tough talking at half-time, especially in defensive situations. But really his side are creating chances, commitments there. Now they're going to have a bit of luck and get themselves back in this match.
Well, it's very much a learning process, isn't it, for a manager, Dennis Smith. Experienced man. Grappling with a very different set of problems here to the ones he was faced with at Oxford in his dual role as a manager and director. But he led York to promotion. He was promoted twice in 3 seasons with Sunderland and gained the 4th promotion of his managerial career at the Manor Ground.
I'm sure Dennis will realise this was never going to be an easy game here at Albion Park. And as a manager taking over, you do want a bit of luck early on. So far in the match has deserted him.
Reading's first win this season came against Smith's Oxford. Beaten 2-1 back here in September. Albion one of the scorers that day, Lee Hodges the other.
Sabba's looked sharp, hasn't he? Making a step up from Brentford. There's no doubt of his ability, it was whether he could do it at a higher level. Sure, Teddy Billiman's delighted with him.
Hamilton aiming the ball towards Kevin Kilban, who's switched to this right side to try and get more joy out of Swales. Hunt, Snakers, Hughes all in the box. There's Hughes. Too short for Hamilton. Cleared by Hodges. McDermott. Now Kilban pressurising Swales.
Yeah, Kilban switching wings, really coming in his left foot there. The service, the ball into the box should have been better. I'm not sure he was after it, he was aiming for Hughes.
Hodges. Saba. Morley. Burgess there ahead of Saba, concedes the throw-in.
Well, Burgess read it well, and Morley with a return pass there to Saba, well aware of Carlos Saba's pace. Doesn't even think twice about it. He knows Carlos Saba's got abundance of speed, but Burgess sticks his task well.
Cross from Swales. Hamilton. Hughes, who headed away Swales' cross in the first instance. Snakers. He's looking to release Hughes.
It's quite incredible. Albion seem to have freedom of movement. You know, Hughes, you mentioned, Rob, back there earlier, heading the cross away, and then suddenly he's up in the left wing alongside Andy Hunt. So really, I think that, you know, Dennis has given them carte blanche. You know, if you have to go back and track and defend, fine. And Hunt alone up front, then the likes of Snakers and Hamilton can try and get up to him.
Hodges. Lambert. Able to free Asaba because Burgess is there again.
If you're going to miss-hit the pass, that's the area to miss-hit it in, because the defender can't take chances. Comes over, Asaba's putting pressure on, conceding the throw-in.
Butler. Spotted Hughes well. Now Smith has made a forward charge.
He's given good width on the left-hand side, Hughes. Just balance it up, Kilban on the right, Hughes on the left.
Smith. This is Marden. Parkinson against Butler. We've seen so many duels between those two.
Yeah, the studs were showing a bit from either player there. Butler won't shirk a challenge. The ball just run away from him. There's the studs, and Parkinson gets there first, but takes a knock on the left knee.
Snakers. Assad. Here's Morley. Lambert. Swales galloping forward to support him, but Lambert never afraid to go through. Well, Swales obviously hadn't anticipated the pass. He thought Lambert was going to go all the way.
Well, I was hoping he was going to go all the way. Just like against Nottingham Forest. He's got quick feet, this fella. And here, he's got one defender left. He's got Marden, but decides to go wide. It's the first time we've really seen Lambert in full flow. It's great when you see people run at defenders. And suddenly he's to the last defender, but realises Swales is left, and a misplaced pass.
Lambert, the player who spent some time under Arsene Wenger in a week's trial at Monaco. Looking for Asaba here. There's a push in the back of Marden by Carl Asaba.
He's showing his pace and his strength now, Asaba, isn't he? Whereas Lambert is full of tricks. Good balance, quick feet. Asaba this time, just maybe overusing the power. Getting his arm up there, battling away. Certainly good strength. And Marden eventually goes flying. The referee quick to spot it. Asaba boots the ball away, but no action taken.
Davis up for the free kick. Parkinson to Morley. Here's Hodges. Caught in the wind. Parkinson again. Davis.
Very congested in there, isn't it? When the ball's dropped, there's bodies, there's boots flying. Really, the game needs a bit of width.
Away goes Davis.
Well, the fans liked it, but that sometimes happens when a centre-half tries to be a right-winger. The locals here at Elm Park have certainly taken to Davies. It's a good run, he's pinning West Brom back. Just going for the corner here, trying to get the cross in. Yeah, and the goal kick.
But when you're 2-0 up, who cares about the cross?
Exactly, he's impressed me today. He has to keep an eye on Hunt. Hunt's still a threat.
We've got a touch on there, and Snakers and Hughes left it to each other, and Swales came in, but he's given it away. This is Hamilton. Ian Hamilton.
Hamilton's been very, very busy. Hammond again behind the ball. Ian Hamilton picking up the loose ball. He had options. This is Snakers and Hughes getting in a muddle. But Hamilton suddenly thinks, no, I'm 20 yards out, I'm hitting this. And just the ball's just behind him. Good positioning from Hammond.
And Hamilton scored at Port Vale in West Brom's only win in their previous 5 outings away from home.
West Brom desperate for a goal. I just feel they need something at this game to stop this rot.
Well, we're into the last third of the game. Dennis Smith's first in charge of West Brom.
It's a nice position Albion in, but Sunderland are on a charge. Middlesbrough and Forest, Sheffield United, teams like City, Man City, Ipswich, beginning to get results together now. So West Brom have got to keep nicking things away from home. It's just lack of goals, Rob. That's the problem.
They need a run in the second half of the season to match the one that they've had in the first. But, they need to stop giving away the sort of goals that they are at the moment.
Also, you look at Andy Hunt, Pesky Solido going. If Hunt was to get injured or get suspended, you say, where's the goals going to come from?
Marden. Hunt to Hamilton. Dermot. Solid challenge by Lambert, but the throw goes West Brom's way. Swales. Miller's clearance.
A bit scrappy now. The Baggies have got to pick it up. They need a goal. Reading don't mind pushing 2 goals. That'll improve their league position.
The Reading rear guard at the moment doing its job, protecting Nicky Hammond. Here's McDermott's throw in. Cross home towards Hamilton. Back off Beattie.
Beattie's hand was very close to that as well. I think eventually it comes off his thigh. But in at the far post, Booty, and was it a right hand there? The West Brom fans didn't stop that. They're shouting for the back pass.
Corner, putting Smith under pressure. Reading though defending well as a team. Morley
again trying to just ease it into Asaba. Very experienced Trevor Morley.
Here's Kilban. Hughes have switched sides again to their original positions. McDermott. Hughes. McDermott again. Lambert. Burgess.
Again, Burnell not too far away from Andy Hunt. And really, is there going to be a change? Dennis Smith must feel the breakthrough hasn't come. Maybe time for a swap.
Smith. Here's Kilban. Rodgers. Here's Lambert. Reading gradually picking up the pace again. Morley. Williams with his arm raised. Wanted it. Blocked though by McDermott. Offside.
Morley this time, right foot. Looked indecision again. Miller was coming, then he stops. And Smith heads clear, but the flag was already up.
Now the anticipated change is about to happen for West Bromwich Albion, and they're taking off Peter Butler, the tiger of the midfield. And on in his place comes Nicky Evans, the former Plymouth man, signed from Southampton, but before he'd made his debut, fractured his cheekbone while away with the Republic of Ireland. West Brom compensated in financial terms, but it's been a slow road back for Evans. He's been used sparingly as a substitute since. He's got a touch there, and Hunt was through. Hammond blocked him, Evans! And here's Hughes keeping it in. Hunt has gone down in the penalty area, and he appears to be in some trouble. In goes Hamilton. Williams. What an introduction that could have been for Evans, just getting the touch on that put Hunt through.
So Rob, was a great stop again from the goalkeeper, because I thought that was the goal that Albion needed to get back in the match. Hammond again, very alert. Hopefully Hunt seems to be struggling a bit, but at least he's on his feet.
Saba can't get past Burgess. Albion aren't putting the ball out. They clearly sense that Reading might be vulnerable here. Now Bernal has put the ball out, and Hunt may get treatment if required.
Well, he's unlucky here, Hunt, isn't he? Evans with a good touch. Hammond's committed himself coming out in arrow, and that's a great stop. The collision was there. Hammond had no option. And Albion scrambling but can't get the ball in. Hughes this time trying to get it across. And the danger's gone. Good goalkeeping this. Makes his mind up. There's a touch. And that's a good stop with the right leg from Nicky Hammond. Hunt in agony.
Curse of the substitution in that as soon as you've made one, you pick up an unwanted injury, and Hunt in problems after Mickey Evans has just come on to take Peter Butler's place.
Yeah, maybe Evans is the man who can break the deadlock for Albion. Good player as Hunt. Has to go off, but he'll be straight back on. Very unlucky Andy Hunt. He's worked very hard. No joy in front of goal though. And that's down to Nicky Hammond in goal for Reading.
Well, while Hunt was being treated, there was treatment too for Gareth Davis, who got caught up in the melee.
I've had the chances, Albion.
A one-man light, although I don't think it will be for too long. Hunt is already raring to return. And they need him really in an attacking situation, and he's back on. Hamilton. Schnakers. Smith to Kilban. 4 in a line waiting for Albion at the edge of the penalty area, but can they be furnished with a service? And there's danger if Reading can break, and Hodges is threatening to do just that with Morley and Asaba up. Lambert. Here's Parkinson. Williams free to the right. He looks to the left though to Swales. Hodges. Lambert. Now he has found Williams. A cracking ball it was too from James Lambert. Some tricks from Williams. Morley. Parkinson. Possession really everything to Reading at the moment. Just over 20 minutes left.
Yeah, it was very patient, wasn't he? I think that some of the home fans were saying get it forward quicker, but you're 2-0 up, and as you say, Rob, possession. If you get the ball, then West Brom can't hit you.
And Parkinson has missed it, and Schnakers almost got there. It was just beyond his reach.
Well, I think the presence of Hammond here really again saves Reading at the back, because Snakers, I'm sure, takes his eye off the ball. Hammond again very alert. It is a mistake, but Hammond's already on his way here, makes his mind up, and maybe Snakers just seen the goalkeeper coming to take his eye off the ball. Good goalkeeping again for me. Just Parkinson makes the mistake. Snakers on it very quickly with the right foot. But look at the goalkeeper's presence.
A collision with Hammond that saw Hunt being treated a few moments ago, but now it's Hammond himself getting treatment. And while he does, let me remind you of some of the football we've got coming up for you on Sky Sports. Premiership action this Boxing Day with Aston Villa against Tottenham Hotspur. That's from 4 o'clock on Sky Sports 1. And more Nationwide League action on Sunday from Bramall Lane. It's Sheffield United against Charlton. That's at 12 noon on Sky Sports 2.
That's a big one. Sheffield United, Charlton, both going well. Don't want to lose ground on Forest and Middlesbrough.
West Brom at the moment look as though they'll be losing some ground and losing another match. Just under 20 minutes to go there. Hammond all right again after treatment. He's been badly affected by injuries of late. Nicky Hammond only made one appearance in the whole of last season, and that was against West Brom because of a nagging back injury. Lost 3-2 that day at the Hawthorns, but at the moment his team in the driving seat and looking for a third. Marden tidying up against Asaba. Hamilton looking to release Hughes. Hammond had made his decision to come.
So what this guy Hammond does well, patrolling his 18-yard line again. Any overhit passes, he pounces. But Albion need a bit of luck or a bit of magic. Time running out now.
Swales. Schnakers. Kilban. Hunt just holding off Andy Bernal. Smith it is who's made the run, and Hunt has freed him brilliantly. Kilban. Smith. Schnakers. Hamilton.
Snakers was fouled. He's looking for the free kick. Tried the 1-2 and was fouled. The referee Durser having none of it. Reading, plenty bodies back there, in behind the ball, making it difficult for Albion.
Well, the free free kick given there for the challenge by Bernal on Hunt. I wonder if Evans feels an advantage could have been played.
Ricky Evans is disgusted here. And to be honest, I think the ref could have let this one go. Look at Evans, is right on and disgusted with the decision.
Free kick has been taken quickly. This is McDermott. Albion have loaded the penalty area. Hunt going for it.
You know, I can't help feeling Hunt deserves a goal. He has worked so hard, Andy Hunt. Again, getting in the end of McDermott's cross. McDermott does well. He hits the byline, clips it in. Again, Hunt in between two defenders. And that looked like a goal kick.
The corner has been given. Kilban takes it. Burgess gets a touch to it. And Hamilton's battling. So too is Evans. And cleared desperately in the end by Trevor Morley.
Turning the heat up now. Albion, again, it's just flicked on. And they can't get a red shot on it. Hamilton done very well there. And Morley hooks away.
It's happening in front of the bank of their own fans. As Davis heads it into the crowd for another corner.
Surely this pressure, they must get one back at least. Reading have to defend this near post flick on.
Can Reading continue to resist the onslaught? Cleared to McDermott. Kilban. And now a real threat to Albion. It's Lambert who's breaking. Williams tearing forward to the right. And it's not going to reach it. Burgess under pressure from Parkinson.
Lambert had a little chance there. Williams was the man he trying to pick out on the far side. Really, maybe Lambert should have just held on to it a little bit more. But that's the problem Albion have got. Intense pressure, need a bit of luck, but they have to be very wary of the counter. Although 2 down, Rob, time running out now, less than 20 minutes remaining, they really have to take more and more chances.
Surely a third goal for Reading would finish it as a contest. There appears to be a push in the back of Morley there, but nothing given.
This could be a very important win for Reading.
Looks like being a substitution for Reading, with Jason Bowen warming up ready for his debut.
He's a good player, Jason Bowen. I like him a lot.
Evans. Davis, who's not been afraid to venture forward at certain moments in this match. Asaba has done well to hold on to it as Carl Asaba. The referee more in hope than expectation.
He tried to find Marley there, but it was a misplaced pass. Carl Asaba surrounded the red and blue jerseys. And really the challenge was after the ball had gone. Contact.
Well, substitution taking place while the referee is actually waiting to book Martin Williams, but the change is being made anyway. Lambert is off. Jason Bowen comes on for his debut, and the man whose position it appeared Bowen was going to threaten is actually having his name taken. Williams going in the book.
I think it was for back chatting to the referee over that Asaba challenge. But Martin Williams, who had an excellent first half, maybe start the service second.
Well, Bowen has been given a warm Elm Park welcome, but here's Hughes for West Brom.
Again, they can't get past Hammond. You see why Hughes gets goals. Very, very sharp indeed, but he's got to get past this man, Nicky Hammond. Good touch, and I tell you what, that's a good stop. He couldn't have seen that hand.
Bowen straight into the action. And again. Sheared to the rafters and picking out Williams. Crosses beyond Asaba. Jason Bowen's had a frustrating time of it, stagnating in Birmingham's reserves while a move to Southampton broke down. Williams cleared by Marden. Hughes. This is Booty. Williams again. Swales with a miss kick. Here's Evans. Hunt has gone into the area. It's Kilban with a chance! And do West Brom have time on their side to turn it round yet? Kilban scores for the first time since the opening day of the season.
Well, I just felt it had to come. Intense pressure. Evans takes over here. Good run inside from Kilban. Skips across the first defender. Toe pokes it into the net. And Albion back in it. Evans with a good pass. Finds the run of Kilban. It's a great first touch. And that's a good finish. And suddenly Albion back in it. Evans to Kilban. Kilban just prods it past Hammond. 2-1.
And Kilban has had his problems winning over the supporters since his club record signing, but he scored one and he could be through again, but it's blocked by Davis. There's Bernal. Reading now with plenty to think about, shaken out of any complacency that there might have been by that goal. Kilban, the scorer, scored against Tranmere on the opening day of the campaign, having got up in the morning to find that the tyres on his car had been slashed, and now he scores in Dennis Smith's first game in charge and gives Albion hope yet of rescuing at least a point.
Yeah, there's 12 minutes left, plus a little bit of injury. And Kevin Kilban, big, strong running winger, this time through the middle with a goal.
It's Bootie's free kick. Morley's touch on. Davis is in there again, and there was a little bit of hesitation between Burgess and Miller.
Just indecision again, you're right. It's a lovely flick on from Morley. How many times do you see Trevor Morley do this? In the danger area, and Miller, well, keeps a good eye.
And here's Andy Hunt piling the pressure on Reading late on, and he's won the corner.
The Baggies fans behind the goal. Now they've got something to cheer about. As West Brom push for this equaliser. Now the smiles are on the big travelling support.
They haven't been smiling like this for much of the match since they went a goal down barely 30 seconds into the game. Bernal was injured in that last run of Hunt's, and that gives Reading one or two problems facing this corner, because he really has been a tower of strength for them. He's got there for the corner though.
The one thing West Brom do though, Rob, from the corner, I know they get joy from, but they do love that near post. I think they just got to change it now and again, swing one to the far post, because Reading have got plenty numbers at the near post now.
Dennis Smith scenting perhaps that this game may yet be saved, and trying to organise his team so that that goal is achieved. Still 10 minutes to go. Reading need a goal to settle themselves. West Brom needing one to get nearer this fight back.
It's a little bit route one now from the Albion. Desperate they feel, the tails are up. Feel they can sneak something. There you go, West Brom possession. We've certainly had enough of it, had enough chances. Is there time left to salvage something?
Smith, and it's Hunt looking to get through. Swales with the clearance. Asaba. Williams just delayed too long, and that allowed Hughes to get back, but Smith is beaten off it by Williams.
Good play from Hughes.
Great pressing. Hard. And Hughes here couldn't get it through Booty. And Parkinson, the Albion bench rose as one to appeal for the handball, but it wasn't given.
Well, I thought it was a handball from up here, because Snakers had made a great run through the middle.
Burgess. Here's Hughes. Smith. Davis had to make the header, but here's Evans. Hughes, who's got through a lot of good work since he came on for West Brom, and he's got the cross in.
How many times has Bernal headed clear?
Hamilton, Kilban, Hunt going for it, flag up.
Yeah, Andy Bernal, so many times has had to cover the presence of Andy Hunt. This time heading it in the air, and there's the offside decision. And a good one too, as Reading now make a change.
Yes, Carlos Saba is going off and on for the last 8 minutes of the match, comes Stuart Lavelle.
Well, I think for Reading's sake now, it's all about defending, isn't it? Try and hold on to the lead as West Brom gamble more and more.
Bernal. Here's Hughes. Evans. Burgess. Under pressure from Morley. Kilban.
Good play again from Hunt. And a disappointing ball from Kilban. Hunt and Bernal have a cracking battle. And Kilban, well, he's got his side back in it with that toe poke. But again, the service, when needed, a bit of quality, it wasn't there. I just get the impression that Albion are more keen to win the battles now as the game nears an end. You know, the 50-50s are going to Albion. Dennis Smith must be delighted with the commitment here. Not the defending first half, but the commitment, the fight back. And can it be complete with a second goal?
Terry Bullivant has had a little longer than Smith to get used to the team that he's working with. They had a wretched start to the season without a victory in their first 6 games. Since then, things have been picked up, but he must be learning 1 or 2 things about his side today. Can they hold on for the last 6 minutes? Andy Bernal. Cleared by Smith. Davis. Hamilton. Martin Booty.
They've got to be so careful here because Snakers is almost playing at centre forward now. They've got Hughes to contend with. Hunt's always a threat, and Kilban. Really, it's all about discipline now. No one going to sleep.
Here's Bowen. McDermott. Parkinson. Swales. And it's one for Morley to chase. Burgess, though, always had the edge. That'll do for Reading at the moment, but still 5 minutes to hold out.
It's a hold-on job, isn't it? When you're down near the foot of the table and you're at home, you've got 2-goal advantage. It's a case of holding on, and suddenly you lose one late on. The panic begins to set in.
It was 2-2 between these teams here a year ago, remember. And Albion hoping, at the very least, for a repeat of that scoreline. Hamilton.
He's done well, Hamilton. He's battled away.
So too was Williams, who gave Reading that cracking start and then scored the second goal. Lovell and Morley ahead of him. This is Morley. Williams. Good play this from Reading. And Williams gets it across, and Bowen had the chance to mark his debut with a dream goal and couldn't get it on target.
Well, it'd have been an instant hero. Simple as that. Good interplay between Morley and Williams. Look at Bowen's run. Great run. Left foot and just wide. Good play, patient play. And Bowen really from 11 yards. Goalkeeper stranded. That should have sewn the points up.
McDermott for the throw-in.
Just eases pressure as well off the Reading defence.
Breather then here for Bernal and Davis and Booty. West Brom are hoping to make them think about things a little more again with a substitution. Yet another one being planned. to use now is Tony Dobson. And sure enough, he is going to enter the fray. Dobson coming on to take the place of Paul Marden. Fresh pair of legs for the battle in the final 3 minutes. Parkinson. Put Stuart Lovell a little high there on Darryl Burgess, so time for you to nominate your Boxing Day bonus champagne as man of the match.
Well, I thought it was a difficult one again. I thought Andy Burnell at the back was superb, winning the ball against a very, very lively Hunt. But I have to go Nicky Hammond. I think he's made crucial saves, first and second half, and he's my man of the match.
2 minutes for he and his defenders here to hold out against the West Brom revival. Evans. Kilban, who scored their goal. Cleared by Stuart Lovell. Williams. Tony Dobson. The clearing header finds Jason Bowen. Real opportunity here to run at McDermott, and he's tormenting him. Lovely touch. Lovell. Bernard.
I think Neil Webb can pick my lottery numbers next week, Rob. I'm sure he said 2-1 to home Sunday.
Here's Swales. That lady's not quite clearing her throat yet, though. Still time for another one. Bowen. Hodges. Parkinson. Looking for Williams. West Brom being pressed back at a time when they need to break. Not necessarily with style, but urgency.
And they battered away. They had so many chances, Albion. Eventually when they got the goal, just left them too much to do.
And Reading's stalling tactics doing the trick. A slow take of the throw-in. The time very much theirs to waste at present. Lovell. Williams, can he prize them open late on? Burgess in the way of Morley. Parkinson. Cleared by McDermott.
It's not going too well for McDermott. It's tried hard after that OG. Didn't know much about it. Reading's first goal.
There between Bowen and Swales. Swales is in for a triple celebration today. If victory's achieved, not only is it Christmas, but it's his birthday as well.
I think he's been the best fullback on the pitch.
Swales 24 today. Cleared by Bernal. Tense late moments these for Reading as West Brom look to break them open. Aim towards Evans, and when Hammond needed to be commanding, Kilban's in there, but it's Hammond who takes the initiative and pounces, and Bullivant hugely relieved.
I thought when I see him go for this ball, I thought it was a kiss of death from Brazil, man of the match, because he came a long way, but gets a second chance and pounces.
And he's lived up to his billing. Flying header from Bernardo is the other contender.
Yeah, he's had a smashing match.
Well into stoppage time. Is there still time for an Albion equaliser? It's McDermott's cross. And judged it right.
Almost time up. There's a big smile from the goalkeeper and man of the match. But McDermott's really got to try and give a red shirt a chance, and that doesn't.
Snakers. Hamilton. Here's McDermott. This could well be the last throw of the dice for Albion. Hughes goes down. Throw in given. Ian Hamilton. Evans underneath it. Richard Snakers!
That could be the last chance, Rob. Snakers, who went so close first half, that's his sort of area. As the ball's knocked down, Evans does well, uses his body weight, maybe a hint of a push, but gets a knockdown. Snakers on the 18-yard line, just over. Can't quite keep it down, the ball bounces high on the knockdown, and surely the Baggies' last chance.
Well, the referee has just checked his watch once already, and that's a challenge by Dobson on Williams that's punished with the award of a free kick.
Bounces up high. Robin, well, maybe looks a little bit worse than what it is.
Reading's prime objective to hold on to what they have, and Booty unsurprisingly hits it towards the corner. Here's Williams. Tempting Albion into the challenge. Hodges, Bowen, Snakers pressing hard along with McDermott. They're buzzing around busily. Lovell might have got through here.
Offside flag was up, but Miller was very quick off his line. He'll be disappointed to concede two, as the Reading manager has a frustrated look at the watch. Surely it's time up, referee's saying.
Well, the watch that counts is in the possession of Andy Durso, the referee. Is there a last chance here for Albion? Swales clears. Still no indication that the referee is to blow for full time. Hughes, though, trying desperately to get on with it. Another check on the watch from the referee. McDermott's cross, Kilban's header off the woodwork. Drama. 4 minutes into stoppage time, and Kilban, who scored one already, went so close there to a second.
Well, what a good header from Kevin Kilban. It was a long searching cross the far post. Kilban comes across the defender, and so unlucky.
And in comes the corner, and that's Nicky Hammonds. Relief a moment ago, but he used his judgment to good effect there. And Reading hold on as Terry Bullivant celebrates a hard-earned victory. Defeat then for Dennis Smith in his first game in charge of Albion. But despite the negative of the result, I'm sure that for the new Albion manager there'll be a lot of positive things to draw on. In many ways, you look on a result of this magnitude as a learning experience, and after the own goal from Andy McDermott just 30 seconds into the game, there was a lot for Smith's team to do, and they responded well even though they couldn't get the ultimate result. It really was the most shocking start for Smith's managerial career when this ball was bundled into his own net by the Australian fullback, and things worsened when Williams, the provider of that goal, turned up to score and merited second. But the Albion fight back, which included two brilliant saves from Hammond and a first half header that hit the post, culminated in this second half effort from Kevin Kilban, his second of the season, and he went so close at the end with a header that hit the post. Reading, though, managed to hold on for this Boxing Day victory. Reading 2, West Bromwich Albion 1.